Hi, I'm Anacolata Catherine. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your self-sabotage isn't about lack of willpower, discipline, or focus, but actually a sign that you're stuck in a role that no longer fits you? Many women try to change their lives, communicate with more confidence, dress more freely, but they keep hitting an invisible wall pulling them back. That wall is actually a node identity, a version of you that learned how to hide, to be quiet, to please others in order to feel safe. And even though you're now aware of that you want more freedom, more presence, more authenticity. There's still a part of you trying to stay loyal to that past version. The one who was accepted for being nice, validated for being quiet, who learned to be less so she wouldn't upset anyone. And that's where self-sabotage is born. You want to grow, but something inside pulls you back. You want to speak up, but your voice gets stuck. You want to take up space, but guilt creeps in. You want to dress how you feel, but suddenly you hear that old inner voice. That's too much. You're drawing too much attention. This inner conflict isn't made up. It's real. It's the tension between two versions of you, who you were taught to be and who you were born to be. And as long as you try to please both at the same time, self-sabotage will keep happening. In this case, a sabotage isn't a flaw, it's a defense mechanism. Your emotional system is trying to stop you from breaking away from the safe version of yourself you've built over the years. Even if that version no longer represents who you are, and even though it sounds contradictory, it makes perfect sense. The human brain prefers the discomfort of the familiar discomfort over the uncertainty of the unknown, even if that unknown is your personal freedom. How many times have you tried to change something in your life? Your style, your way of speaking, your posture, and felt like you were betraying some part of yourself. Maybe you are afraid of disappointing people who love the softer, smaller version of you. Maybe you felt guilty for wanting to be admired, desired, or even just for feeling beautiful. Maybe you heard that old inner voice whisper, "Who do you think you are?" Those voices aren't truly yours. They're echoes of everything you've heard, absorbed, and internalized over the years. They're emotional imprints left by family dynamics, cultural expectations, and social norms that shaped you without asking permission. And the truth is, while you don't recognize those invisible chains, you'll keep reshaping your life to fit into a box that's already too small. That's why psychology, communication, and image must go hand in hand. Because you can't speak with power if you still believe you need to apologize for existing. You can't dress with authenticity if you're still chasing approval. You can't take up space if deep down you think being loved depends on being quiet, small, or easy. Many women believe that changing their self-image is about changing their wardrobe. But that's not about clothes. It's not about clothes. It's about identity. Clothes are just the surface. What truly needs to change is how you see yourself. The woman you want to become won't appear out of nowhere one day. You have to start building her now with small and intentional choices. It's not pretending, it's practice. Every time you get dressed with intention, you're sending a message to your brain. This is who I am now. Every time you speak up, even with shaky words, you affirm, I deserve to be heard. Every time you stop apologizing for being yourself, you come closer to your essence. But to do that, you'll need to let go of your loyalty to the old version of you. And yes, that can hurt. It might mean losing some forms of validation. It might mean disappointing people who got used to your silence. It might mean giving up the perfect daughter, the supportive friend, the woman who never rocks the boat. And that's scary. But you have to choose. Keep pleasing everyone except yourself. Or finally start honoring who you are. Because as long as you're still trying to please the version of you who was taught to survive, you won't be able to create a life where you feel fully alive. The woman you used to be was necessary. She protected you, she kept you safe, she did the best she could with what she had. But now it's your turn to take the lead, to decide who you want to be from this moment forward. You don't have to keep dressing, speaking, or acting like someone still begging for permission. You get to change your language, your appearance, your energy, not to hide, but to be seen. If something inside you is asking to be expressed, seen, and recognized, listen. That's your essence asking for a space. You're not being ungrateful for growing. You're being fair to yourself. You're not being arrogant for expressing yourself. You're being real. And maybe at first not everyone will understand. Maybe you won't even recognize yourself right away, but little by little it starts to click. You realize you didn't lose anyone, you just stopped pretending. You realize you're not being too much, you're being honest. You realize that the woman you've always dreamed of becoming, she's been inside you all along. She was just waiting for permission, and that permission can only come from you. You weren't sabotaging yourself because you're weak. You were sabotaging yourself because you were too loyal to the version of you who once had to shrink to feel safe. But now you get to be loyal to your truth, to your power, to the woman you are becoming. And from the moment you commit to that identity, everything changes. The way you dress changes. The way you speak changes. Your energy shifts. Your gaze shifts. Your life shifts. Not because you forced a transformation, but because finally you stop pretending to be less.